So the Jackets, and I told everybody, nobody understood when I was telling Woodford, the players I talked to, the mood that I felt from them. They didn't fear Douglas, and they showed it. Have showed it so far here in the first half. Tied at 7, Woodford County and Douglas. Broncos 3rd and 9 from the Woodford County 38. Carpenter back to throw, steps up, throws out here in the flat, caught. Nope, incomplete, dropped it. So the Jackets will force 4th and 9 now. We'll get a field goal attempt for Douglas, and this will come from about the 45-yard line. So the Jackets, glad you're with us here. Woodford County and Douglas. And in case you just joined us, it's Woodford County 7, Douglas 7. Glad you're with us here at the farm, as it's more commonly known, on the campus of Frederick Douglass High School, just off of Winchester Road. Darren Douglas along with Andy Smith.
Hey, guys. Oh, a little audio there.
A little audio trouble. We got it fixed.
Hopefully. We're good.
They're actually going to punt it, Douglas.
They're going to try to pin Woodford County, or they're going to fake it.
No, they're going to fake it. He's going to roll left. He'll cut it up. And he'll maybe get the first down. He's going to step out of bounds shy. Woodford County stopped him.
Oh, wow.
Got a flag, but it's going to be a block in the backside, maybe to get him around the corner. Woodford stopped him about 4 yards shy.
Yeah, we're going to see here. Everybody's got to get off the sideline and stop yelling. Play the game.
They're going to mark him shy.
Yeah.
By the linesman on the far side. Woodford's going to decline the penalty. It was a hold. So Woodford County will get the football back with 1:06 to play.
Wow. I'll tell you what, man, that was one heck of a turn of events for Woodford County. A couple of big plays by Douglas. It looked like Douglas was getting some rhythm there, and Woodford County able to come up with a stop with 1:06. I'll tell you what.
One timeout left.
You know, Woodford County just saying, we're going to play Woodford County football, and that's what they're doing.
Yep. Jackets and Broncos tied at 7. The winner, if Douglas wins, they'll host next week's game against whoever comes. They're at home throughout the playoffs. If Woodford wins, they'll go on the road again next week. And I would probably bet they'll send us, if Scott County wins, we'll go to Georgetown.
Okay.
Or if Bowling Green goes, we'll maybe go to Bowling Green. Who knows where we'll go. They pitch it back. Crow running right. Cuts it up. He gets about 6.
Well, that was a nice
and knocked out of
run.
bounds.
That's a good run. That's exactly what you want. I think he picked up a little more than 6 on that. We'll see.
Crow, they stopped the clock.
Good call.
The clock should have stopped.
Oh, well.
Well, the official waves his arms to stop the clock, and it's still running at 50 seconds.
Now it's running again.
Yeah, the white hat's going to stop the clock.
He's still running the clock. We're still running the clock.
Stop the clock and
hold on. They got.
Let's see. It was 1:09, and I will bet you.
Yeah, we're going to stop here, and it looks like it's going to be about a minute left.
I would say about a minute. That play took about 9 seconds. We'll see. I'm going to take a break for a second. I gotta go sneeze.
They'll see what they're going to do. They're going to put 51 seconds on the clock here. So Woodford County not happy about that. He thinks it should be about a minute. Coach thinks it should be about a minute. But when we looked up at the clock, it was about 54 seconds, and it was still running. So they're putting 51. They're putting 51 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, the crowd's booing.
Yeah, because they didn't.
And the guys behind me said there should be a minute left on the clock.
Yeah,
just like I said.
Yeah,
so
51 seconds.
A minute, but it's 51 seconds. A gain of 6. 2nd down and 4 for Woodford. This score may surprise people. It doesn't surprise people in Versailles, though.
No, I don't think so.
They run the option. Nason cuts it inside, cuts it back outside. Now stop the clock.
Wow. Nason doing it
46
again.
seconds. Now they get that.
I'll tell you what, man. You know, Douglas, Woodford County working the clock to the outside, calling that play. That's really good play calling.
Yes.
Because everybody is closing on Stacy.
Yeah.
And
well, Stacy needs only 42 yards to get 1,000 again in the season. And folks, here's what's amazing about what Stacy has done running the football in his 3 years. He doesn't get near the carries these other running backs in the course of his career have gotten.
Right.
He came in with 129 carries this year. Guess what? The next closest guy had like 265 carries.
Keep it again, Nason.
Nason cuts it up.
Good tackle on the outside, but he didn't get the first down, so they're going to have to call timeout if they have one.
Woodford County gets 8. 30 seconds to play.
What's going on?
Are they going to?
I don't know. Woodford County's acting like they called timeout, but the clock hasn't stopped yet. Now it looks like coach is going to let it play out.
So, or has they? I guess they didn't call timeout.
Nope, thought they would.
Woodford's going to huddle up over there towards the sidelines.
They're going to take 7-7 into the half.
And Douglas will get the ball to start the second half. That'll be in the first half here in Lexington. This is an interesting. What are they doing? They're stopping Woodford County from going. Oh, they're going to let the home team go first. Talking about home cooking. I've never seen that. Have you?
No, well, not maybe Michigan State game. They all go into the same tunnel.
I have never seen that. And this is my 39th year of calling games, and I have never, ever seen.
I haven't either.
Two people coming out and doing that. So Woodford County and Douglas through 24 minutes of football here in Versailles, in Lexington, all tied up at 7. This is the Yellow Jacket Sports Network, powered by DD Sports Productions. And for those of you all that have not joined us until now, Woodford County and Douglas tied up at 14. Andy, give me your
7.
Tied up 7, yeah. Tied up at 7. Give me your total input on the first half.
So one thing I'm surprised on I shouldn't be surprised about Douglas is their ability to get sideline to sideline on defense, at least in the first quarter and the first part of the second quarter. I think that Douglas has amazing speed on the outside defense. The other thing that's really surprising me to on the defensive side for Woodford County is the fact that they have been able to stop the run for the most part. A couple of big runs here and there, but no breakaway touchdowns or anything like that. Woodford County doing a great job stopping the run at the line of scrimmage, forcing Douglas into passing situations repeatedly there, and then coming up big in the defensive secondary, getting an interception, a bat down, and then forcing Douglas to have to do what they don't want to do and throw. So both of those things were kind of the big surprises for me. What I was really happy to see was Woodford County playing Woodford County football on offense, especially in the second part as we move through that second quarter. Woodford County calling a variety of plays, doing what they do best, and mixing things up. And it looked like Douglas was on their heels. Well, not looked like. They were on their heels for that 73-yard drive that Woodford County put together. I talked to a lot of people before this game, and a lot of them said Woodford County's not going to be able to play Woodford County football. And that's exactly what they did in that last half.
They had a couple of penalties in that first half that hurt them, especially on the drive. Well, they had 3 or 4 penalties in the first half, but 2 on the touchdown drive by Douglas. But Woodford County didn't lay down. They could have dropped their head. And
no.
They actually got themselves back into it.
This team does not have dropped their head in their vocabulary.
You want one of these blankets?
No, I'm good.
Woodford County and Douglas, we're tied at 7.
I'm going to move around
here at halftime here in Lexington. Woodford County and Frederick Douglas. Other games going on in 5A tonight. We mentioned that Southwestern game. here at in Georgetown. So Woodford County playing well. We don't have any stats. We don't have anything down here to be able to help you through the first half, and we apologize for that. But when I found out I was going to be down on the field, figured the wind was going to be blowing tonight, which it is a little bit. Just didn't have any kind of issue to run anything off, so I'm winging it here as we get through this. But Woodford has played their game coming in here tonight, and they have really forced some things here in the first half. Playoff football all across the state tonight. Newport Central Catholic, this is Class A. Newport Central Catholic at Kentucky Country Day. Paintsville is at Pikeville. Louisville Holy Cross is at Crittenden County, but they are hosting Crittenden County at Pleasure Ridge Park. Hazard is at Raceland. That's the single A games. The double A games, Shelby Valley's at Beechwood, Breathitt County at Lloyd Memorial, Metcalfe County at Mayfield, and LCA is at Owensboro Catholic. In 3A, it's Union County at Bardstown. Blazer is at Bell County. Paducah Tillman at Christian Academy of Louisville, along with Greenup County at Mason County. 4A, Lexington Catholic is at Boyle County. Johnson Central is at Corbin. Central at Logan County tonight. And Franklin County is at Warren East. In 5A, Fairdale is at Owensboro. Southwestern is at Scott County. Woodford County, of course, here at Frederick Douglass tonight. And South Oldham is at Bowling Green tonight. In 6A, Madison Central is at Ballard. Trinity is over at Bryan Station. Central Hardin is at Bullitt East. And Henderson County is at Mail. Of course, Mail upset the number one team in 6A, St. X, last week, 22-21 in overtime. So a lot of things can happen. So Woodford County right in a position right now, tied at 7 with Frederick Douglass. We're with you here tonight, Andy Smith, myself, Darren Douglas, on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. Glad you're with us. Apologize for some of the problems we had. We got late getting on, and then also with the sound early on. We were experiencing some issues with that, but we straightened it out. Halftime in Georgetown, we have a score. It's Scott County 22 and the undefeated Southwestern Warriors 8. That is at halftime in Georgetown. Woodford County and Douglas tied up here at 7. So the Jackets working really well and really hard, playing very well tonight. So that's a score from Georgetown. Southwestern trails Scott County 22-8 at the halftime break over there in Georgetown. So that's the other game here in Central Kentucky. Going to take a little break, so just be with us here on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network. Jackets tied up at halftime with the Broncos at 7 here in Lexington, Kentucky, at the farm here in Lexington, Kentucky. And we mentioned the other score. Jackets tied at 7 here at halftime. So the other score we were talking about was Scott County 22-8 over the Warriors of Southwestern. So a lot of people sitting some very interesting things here. Really surprised that Woodford is doing what they're doing with Douglas tonight. So the Jackets really in a position. If you're Dennis Johnson, you want a position to be when you get to the fourth quarter to have a shot at winning this one. So the Jackets playing well here in Lexington. It's been a heck of a first half. They're going to have a special guest here. I've been begging him for about 3 years to come on with me, and I horse-collared him just now. Brian Milam from WKYT Television. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Not nearly as cold as my thumb is cold. That's it. Everything else is good.
Yeah.
So it's a good night.
Well, you're still looking good, though.
Trying to.
There you go.
Thank you.
Brian, I tell you what, it's been a heck of a first half here.
It is. And, I told someone last week I knew Cov Cath would give them a game. Cov Cath scored first. Only time this season Douglas was behind was last week, and they were only behind for a little bit. But Woodford is doing exactly what Douglas's Achilles heel is. Especially with the quarterback keeper. They haven't seen too many quarterbacks this year who hold on to the football. Cov Cath's QB last week did the same thing in that first half. It was an even game pretty much. Second half adjustments, Cov Cath only had 48 yards total for the game, and they had 2 first downs that first drive. So Douglas did something at the half, but Woodford's right where they want to be.
Yeah, and the thing is, with Woodford, though, you can't pay too much attention to the quarterback.
That's right.
Because they have the other weapons that you've not seen yet.
Douglas wants you to get into a one-on-one situation. Well, with Woodford, with the misdirection, it opens up holes Douglas doesn't normally see.
Right.
And right now, and also whatever Dennis Johnson said to the officials after that play on the sideline, when Carpenter throws the ball and the ball wobbles out, they throw a push. They put the flag on Woodford. Whatever he said after that, if you think about it, it has changed the game.
Yeah. Woodford's gotten – it
everything.
lit a fire under his team.
But a great drive.
Yeah.
A great drive in there, and I was not surprised on the onside kick also because if you think about it, if Douglas would have scored coming there, they get the ball to start the third quarter, and they can put you out right then. I thought there was a good move to try to catch somebody off guard.
Well, and you got the momentum there because you drive the ball 77 yards down the field. And people say, can Woodford win? I said there's 2 things that Woodford can do tonight to win. One is they cannot turn the football over. And 2, they can't be intimidated by the hype with Douglas. And I talked to the kids all week long, and every kid I talked to said, we don't fear them. We don't fear them. And they played like that in the first half.
And also, one thing that really is hurting Douglas, I think, is the weather in the passing game. Woodford has that controlled game. Douglas wants to let it fly. You can't do that too often when it's whatever it is out tonight, 27 degrees.
And Woodford will give you different types of blitz looks that probably Douglas hasn't seen this year.
They got burned on the one blitz.
Yeah.
And the kid runs up the middle for about 24 yards. But I tell you what, they have Douglas on the ropes.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, and I said, hey, anything can happen in the playoff season. And, we're sitting right here close, and I had somebody text me who's listening home, said, who was that talking as they were walking off the field? I said, halftime. Brian Milam enjoys that. Douglas comes running back out on the field, and they pulled our cord out of our extension cord here. And my boy Brian Milam been doing double duty there. Appreciate Brian.
When I have to fix something, you know it's gone wrong.
Uh-oh.
When I have to fix something.
Brian Milam, thank you here at halftime, buddy. And I tell you what, I expect this thing's going to go down to the wire. I really do.
You know, Douglas has not been pressed for 4 quarters all year. Last week was the closest. When you get to a situation where you now have to play 4 quarters, Woodford's had to do that all year to a degree. You start to get a little tight. And then when you get cold and things don't go well, you get pucker factor a little bit, you know, and you kind of wonder.
Well,
I
told if Woodford can get in a position to win this thing in the 4th quarter, that's where Dennis Johnson wants his ball club to be.
Sure.
We played against Carpenter before.
Right. It's Southern.
We want to put this game on his right arm.
I would not be surprised to see Douglas run the ball more in the second half because that's where they've had their best success. I think if Woodford can get the Broncos into a passing situation, look out.
I agree. Thanks,
Jackets
Brian.
Swarm, don't they?
Think they do. Thank you, Brian. Brian Milam here at halftime with us, and got another guy here. We're going to grab him, put him on for a little bit. You've heard him for a couple of times as the color analyst for us here at halftime or during the broadcast this year, and he's joining us here again. He's got to adjust his skull cap, I guess they call this, right, or his toboggan. See, I'm showing my age when we do toboggan. Nobody knows what a toboggan is.
Darren, I don't know what they call it anymore.
I don't either.
As long as I keep my bald head a little bit warm, I'm in good shape.
That's Brian. Brian Staples with us here in the Family Wealth Group. We appreciate you being one of our fine sponsors, buddy. And I tell you what, this score is going to send a lot of shockwaves across 5A. But I told everybody, I don't know if you heard me when I told Brian, every kid I talked to this week for Woodford County said, we don't fear them. We're not scared of them. How much does that play? You being a former player, how much does that play into a guy's psyche?
Well, when you walk on the field and you don't feel like you've got any fear.
Right.
And then when you couple that with they've responded. The defense has played well. The offense started moving the ball late in the second quarter. So you're now into that belief zone that, okay, I may have been telling you all week that I don't fear them, but I've just gone the first half with them, and we're holding our own.
Yes.
So I think the strength's going to come if, I heard Brian talking to you about Douglas hadn't really been pressed for 4 quarters of a game. Absolutely. I think if we hold tight and continue the momentum we've had in the first part of this third quarter, we're going to see this game flipped. And then you're really going to see shockwaves going across the
Yeah,
field.
and I tell you what, last week the top dog in 6A went down. And now, granted, Mail was the one that knocked him off. But I tell you what, part of this, everybody doesn't understand the psyche of an athlete. Mm-hmm. If you go out and you say, we're going to win this thing, and we're going to win on their home field, that's 90% of the battle.
Absolutely. That is everything.
Well, Andy evidently has gotten caught at the concession stand, can't get over here and get back. Would you join us until he gets over here?
Hey, I'll never be able to fill Andy Smith's shoes, but I'll stand here and do my best until he gets here and takes back over.
Well, we're getting ready for the second half of action. Douglas will have the football to begin the second half of action. Woodford County will kick off.
And Darren, the key to me for this third quarter
is this drive right here.
Is this drive, but not only this, but 3 things I used to try to teach my kids when they were playing softball. Play hard, have fun, believe. This is the time to do it.
Yep. Ty Bryant and Cam Dunn back deep for Douglas, and it's Logan Ford to kick off, and he'll pooch it over to the far side. It hits and it hits again, and did it come free? It did not. Boy, that was a great spot.
That was an ideal spot. I wondered why he didn't do that right there after they scored the touchdown.
Well, I think he mishit it. I think he mishit it on that play, but that thing almost took a kick back to the right of, I believe that was Ty Bryant back there, but it almost got away from him. So it's 1st and 10, Douglas, from their own 30-yard line to start the second half of play.
You know, I've seen the defense swarm more tonight
Yes.
than I remember seeing them earlier in the year.
Played very well in that first 24 minutes. Again, Scott County leads Southwestern at halftime, 22-8. Here comes, no, that's Rob Uller. That's not Andy Smith. In motion. They give it off to Horton. Or is that Hart?
I believe that was Hart. Looked like
26, I think, wasn't
looked like it was Aiden Nelson on the tackle, and
Looks like 57. Nope, that's 51. It's Christian Ponce.
Christian Ponce. And Nelson came up from that strong safety spot.
Tell you, the secondary for Woodford's played well.
Yes, they have.
Had a shot at 3 interceptions in the first half. They got one. Had a third one just off their hand. Carpenter, he got 2, did Hart. This one they're throwing deep. This will be picked off. No, dropped by Aiden Carroll. That's 3rd and 8.
You know, a cold night like tonight, it's hard to hold on to a football like that when it's coming through.
Brian Milam was telling me exactly. He turned around and said 3. That's actually 4 interceptions they should have had. Got caught at the concession stand, didn't you? Got Brian Staples here joining. Andy Smith comes back now, and we're about ready for some more football here. Jackets
You
almost
drink your hot
forcing
chocolate, and I'll fill in for you for a second.
Jackets almost had another turnover there, guys, and I'm telling you, this is a big stop right here if they can force a 3 and out. Carpenter back to throw.
He's gonna go deep again.
He's got a guy wide open. That's done off his hands, incomplete. He beat DeBiss Johnson on a double move, but Carpenter threw it too long, but he had to unload it because guess what was staring him in the face? Mr. Ponce. Christian Ponce, I tell you, over the last 5 games, Brian has really stepped up his game. And he played well before that.
I thought last ball game may have been his best game
Yeah,
this year.
it might have been. He was all over the place against Pulaski County. Aiden Nelson, the always dangerous Aiden Nelson, back in solo safety for Woodford.
Well, they haven't given him a chance to return one tonight.
Now they do that rugby-style kick, and we'll see what happens. This is a low-line drive. Looks like my tee shot off the tee on the golf course. It never got about 2 feet off the ground. And Woodford has their best starting field position of the night at the 40-yard line, it looks like, of the Jackets. So, Brian, you get a 3 and out.
That's exactly what you wanted to start this second half with.
And now, as you heard, as our fans out there heard at halftime, Brian Milam said Douglas has trailed 1 time all year long, and that was last week against Covenant Catholic. And it didn't last but about 30 seconds, but still.
They could get in uncharted territory here if we go press them and score. And because then they're going to have to respond. Now, we'll see what they do.
I agree. Crow in motion. Nason gives it off to Stacy, and he does his little thing.
Workhorse does what he does.
Does what he does.
3-4 yards.
We also mentioned at the first of this broadcast that Tristan Cook was lost Wednesday night for the rest of the year because of a knee injury. And Kyle Woodside is the right guard now.
Well, you know,
tonight. He's done a good job.
Stacy picked up 5 there, so.
He's second down and 5. Nason. And I tell you what, I'm surprised they don't have Ty Bryant one-on-one with Aiden Nelson. They keep it with Nason. He'll get a first down. He gets about 7, maybe 8. And it's 1st and 10 Woodford County as they, according to Brian Milam, Brian at halftime, he told me that Douglas has never played a quarterback that runs the ball and keeps it like Nason does all year.
Nason has controlled the ball well tonight with the ball fake, the keep, the pitch. You know, he was really, really effective late in the second quarter on that drive for the score. And, you know, he's got that deceiving speed. He turns that corner, and you just don't think he's as quick as he is.
He's a lot faster than he looks. Nason pitches back to Crow, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. No,
Yeah, just
maybe
about
lost
the line
about
of
6
scrimmage.
inches. So it's 2nd and 10 for Woodford County. 9:27 to play. And we have a Douglas player injured, doesn't he? Or he lost a shoe. It'll be 2nd down and 10, Woodford County, from their own 49-yard line. Moving on, 9 minutes to play in the third quarter. Tied at 7. Nason back to throw. He has a man
If he
open.
gets it.
And that was Ty Bryant.
It just took a little bit too long to get set and throw that ball.
Yep. But here's what I like about that. Everybody's saying, well, Ty Bryant defensive. And Ty, taking away from Ty, he's a great player. But Woodford's going right at him. They're not fearing him. They're going right at him. They're throwing on his side. Usually teams will try to avoid the best team's, the other team's best corner. They're going right at him. 3rd and 10 for Woodford County. Nason back to throw. Sets up the screen, knockdown.
Read well by
Yep.
Frederick Douglas there. And
Well, but he
played
doesn't.
that well.
Yeah, if that defensive lineman does not read that and stop where he was at, they had the screen set up. You know what we haven't seen this first half, guys, or this half, is we have not seen that seam route by the wingbacks. That has been open many times this year. So Sawyer Ford on to punt. Woodford County got a first down on their initial drive of the second half. But Douglas stiffens, and Woodford County has to punt.
if we can get a good punt here, we can bury them deep a little bit. Back, if we can get them back inside their 25-yard line, it'd be a good spot for a ball change.
Ford gets the punt out of there. It'll come down and hit, and they bounce inside.
Good bounce.
And goes down somewhere inside the 10-yard line, still rolling.
Excellent punt by Ford.
Down at the 8. I'll tell you what. And Keith Brown's been dialing up some even more exotic blitzes we talked about tonight. He's one of those defensive guys that likes to bring pressure.
Well,
And
they've done a great job of getting pressure back to the quarterback tonight.
Yeah.
And even this little delay handoff, they've had time or two. We've read it well, responded well.
They give that yo-yo motion. Carpenter they'll give it off to Hart. And he'll get over.
Looks like he got about 6 on that.
They're going to give him
Take that back.
9.
They're going to give him 9.
It'll be 2nd down and 1 for Douglas. Woodford has really made Douglas work. They haven't gotten a big chunk plays. This is what I don't understand. You get the defense, the linemen even stand up and take 2 or 3 steps around when they say that check me play.
Well, one of the things I was noticing, Darren, when I was over on the sidelines watching this in the first half, Douglas players, as you said, the linemen are standing up and they're checking the ball, and they're walking all around the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, the setup is
front
front of the ball and around. I've never seen a team be able to do that with that kind of consistency.
That's those new rules.
But the other thing I was impressed with is Woodford,
They're
the old player in me, I don't like this. We're getting set about a yard and a half off the
Right.
ball, but it's keeping us from jumping. We've had a habit of jumping
Right.
a little bit this year.
Carpenter gives it off to Hart, and I'm not sure he got the first down.
I don't think
He did not.
He may have lost a couple of yards.
Looking
there.
or did they give it to him?
Yeah, they gave it to him.
They gave him the first down.
I was watching the official on the far side and thought maybe they hadn't gotten to the mark.
He did. He got enough for the first down. So it's 1st and 10, Douglas from their own 17-yard line. Well, if they mark it to 17, that's a yard shy. And they run the jet sweep, and that is Preston Stacy. Or is that Grant
That
Garrison?
was Grant Garrison
That was
chased him down. Loss of about
Loss
three
on
on the
about 2 or
play.
3, and we're at 7:04 to play in the third, and we're still tied at 7, folks. And the longer Woodford County hangs around, and I say hang around, Woodford, folks, deserves to be in the spot they're in. Don't get me wrong. But if they hang around, the more doubt that creeps into that supposed favorite on the other sideline.
Well, you get into that fear factor. I don't want to lose. Woodford's already experienced that once.
Right.
We've gone through that. We've realized it's not that big of a deal. And
You got a Douglas player limping off the field. I can't tell who it is from here. Woodford County now with forcing Douglas into a 3rd and 9. Gain of 4 for Douglas. And the Jackets looking to force another punt here. Douglas taking an awful long time. 3rd and 9. Woodford looking to force another punt. We're under 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. Carpenter back to throw. Steps up. Has the corner route. And they're going to throw a flag.
Yeah. I knew they were just as soon as you looked up and saw the Woodford guy running
That's
at the
on
player and
Preston
raised his
Stacy.
arms. Yep.
Well,
gonna call that.
there are no there's not face guarding in high school football, though. That's what I was told by an official.
Well, they just called face guarding. The official may not call it face guarding.
They're going to call pass interference. What they're going to call? Said he touched him. Yeah, there is no face guarding.
Stacy's pleading his case,
Well, he's pleading
but he's
his
not
case
going to win.
Well, he's pleading his case with the back judge who called pass interference in the first half on the touchdown drive for Douglas on the tip ball when the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. So, you know, the kid give the Broncos a first down at the own 34-yard line.
Yeah, Andy's right. He's just motioning. That's a third call that they've called on a pass interference that was, we'll call it questionable.
Thank you. Counterplay to Douglas for Douglas. Ty Bryant on the carry. He got 7. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
But that's okay. I mean, I hate not getting that, but, you know, this clock's winding down. We keep talking about this opportunity to put doubt in Douglas, but that's exactly, you know, they've had a higher-powered offense all year long, and Woodford defense has shut them down so far tonight.
Played well. Carpenter back to throw, looking deep. Throws it high. Is it intercepted? No.
Came just off of Aiden Nelson's
Aiden
fingertips.
Nelson just almost had that. That throw was sailing for for Carpenter. And and no disrespect to Carpenter though, but Woodford's seen him in action. So, you know, in his mind, there's some doubt maybe coming into this game, even though he's got all this talent around him. So if you can put it in his hands, maybe he might make a mistake that you can really capitalize on bigly. Or bigger, I should say. 3rd and 2, or 3rd and 3 for Douglas. They give it off. First down up to about midfield for the Broncos. That is Bryant again. So Douglas with the first down moves the ball out close to midfield to their own 48. We're at 5 minutes exactly to play in the third. Still tied at 7 here in Lexington between Woodford County and Douglas.
I feel a turnover coming around.
I do too.
I mean, I just
feel one coming. They give it back to Bryant. Squirts through a hole, dragging people with him, and he gets another first down for Douglas. Woodford trying to tackle the ball instead of going ahead and just tackling the player.
Yeah, I think they were listening to us, talking about wanting to get a turnover, because we had 4 guys trying to rip at that football then instead of somebody just hitting him low and driving.
So it's 1st and 10, Douglas from the Woodford County 39 with 4:30 to play in the third. But I tell you what, I mean, Woodford is, Douglas is getting Woodford's best shot right now. Or not their best shot, but they're getting a good shot at him. Carpenter back to throw. Throws across the middle. Caught on it was like a screen.
Yeah, it looks like a little dump screen or something, I guess is the best way to call that.
And to give him 3, it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Douglas.
Linebacker stayed at home. Interior line made the tackle. That was, take that all night long like that.
Actually, it's 2nd down and 8. They gave him only 2. Ball was completed to the tight end, Howard. Woodford in press coverage on the outside. Carpenter gives it off to Bryant.
A little counter to Bryant there.
Cuts back inside. He'll get about 7. Now they're going to give him the first down. .325 to play, and the clock on the move here in Lexington. Douglas with a nice little drive here, but it was aided by a really suspect pass interference penalty. Douglas has gotten 3 first downs tonight off of penalties. Woodford going to call a timeout. So timeout Woodford County here in Lexington. Showplace Realty is one of our fine sponsors. Same location in downtown Versailles, 183 South Main Street. Also Weatherization Plus on Frankfort Street. Brian Padgett and all the fine folks there. State Farm, Jason Go, State Farm on Frankfort Street, right across from Woodford County High School. Farm Bureau on Lexington Road in Versailles. Courtney Roberts and the folks there. Also Carroll Floor Covering, Steve Carroll. 40-plus years in business. He's got all your flooring needs. That's Carroll Floor Covering. Versailles Brewing Company in the Lexington Road Plaza on US 60, just off Marseilles Road. Your home for From the Sidelines Football Coaches Show, along with front row tickets. Downtown Versailles, Thoroughbred Square is where they're located. Falling Springs out in the county park. Also, J&B Marathon Cafe, UK Sports Medicine, Woodford Family Physicians, 84 Lumber, along with Mr. Appliance and Woodford Public Schools. 1st and 10, Douglas from the Woodford County 28. And we need a big turnover right here, right now, Andy.
Yeah, I think you're right. You and Brian both just said that's what it feels like. We got a hold on the outside edge here.
They're either going to call a hold or they're going to call it. Nope, it's coming back. Coming back. Coming back.
Looked like it might have been a hold there on the edge. Let's see. Yeah, hold
it. It is a hold on Douglas. That's how he got the edge.
Yeah, he got around there by basically tackling the outside man there.
Preston Stacy and Ty Bryant played, I believe I've read somewhere, they played youth football together here in Lexington. Then opposite middle schools here in Lexington, they slap hands and clank helmets together.
That explains that.
Of course, Preston played his freshman year at Henry Clay before transferring to Woodford. It'll be 1st and about 20 now.
Yeah.
Carpenter throws behind his receiver, incomplete.
I'll tell you what, that's a pressure miss right there. It's not necessarily the pressure on that play, it's the pressure on every other play. He short-armed it.
Now, Caleb Brown was in there applying some pressure to Carpenter.
He tried to just short-arm that real quick. Yep.
And threw a howitzer. I mean, that thing had some heat on it. It'll be 2nd down at about 20. It looks really to be 2nd down at 25.
Well, this seems to be the game for Douglas tonight. 2nd and a mile.
Carpenter gives it off to Bryant, running right. Brown has a hold of him, and is that Starks? Not sure.
Pick up about 4, 3. Bryant.
Yeah, that was.
Hey, Mr. Staples, appreciate you.
That was the Condor, Caleb Brown on the tackle.
Man, I tell you what, every game I've called with you, Darren, it's been so nice to have community members come in.
Yes.
And
yes.
I don't I don't mind taking the break, but it's really nice having the community folks come in here and want to be part of this broadcast and also want to be part of this football team. Everybody from Judge Kay, Trenton Fields, and Brian Staples coming in. And
3rd and 17. Carpenter back to throw. He's in trouble. Throwing down deep. He has DeBrince Johnson there. They won a flag, but that DeBrince Johnson was running stride for stride.
In his pocket.
And it's 4th down.
In his pocket. The
Dunbar folks the Douglas folks want a pass interference, but that was just a situation where DeBrince was right in good spot to make a play on it.
Yeah, he was right in his pocket. That was a great play. He turned, found the football, and forced the offensive man to have to play defense a little bit because he had the step on the football and he had the eye on the football, not the receiver.
Well, Woodford County really pressuring, and we get a 4th down play here.
Yeah, they need to go for it here.
No, they're punting it.
Oh, right. They can't be punting it.
Well, they did this and ran the ball, and
Ball's on the
Woodford
ground.
stopped them.
Shank, good shank.
And it hits and goes out of bounds at the 22-yard line. That'll be a 14-yard punt if they mark it there.
Well, it's going to be right near the 20 anyway, Darren. And I'll tell you what, man, you can't ask for a better result.
No, sir.
On a punt.
2 minutes, 43 seconds to play in the 3rd. Woodford County and Douglas tied at 7. It's right at the 20-yard line.
So gain of 14 on the punt. And, Brian Staples absolutely right there. Can't believe they didn't try and throw the ball into the end zone and try to get the penalty. Instead, they went for a 14-yard punt or 14-yard gain, trying to pin Woodford deep.
Well, Woodford County comes out. Xavier Hill over the football, Cowing the left guard, Ramalbo the left tackle. Then you have Woodside the right guard. Nason steps up. He has a guy back there.
Intercepted. Oh, we got a flag.
Let's see what they're going to call.
Yeah, I can't tell which side.
We got a flag. Well, let's see which way it goes. Terrion Hicks on the coverage. It came from the linesman, too, up here near the ball.
Yeah, I can't tell what the call was.
See what they got.
We got Staples. Mr. Staples is spotting it for us. Pass interference, defense.
No.
Offense. Excuse me, offense.
They're going to call it on.
Well, I think that there may have been a catch over there, and he had to climb him to get it out, get rid of it. But
well, here and then you get another flag on the sidelines over there from the linesman on the far side. I tell you what, folks.
Well, when it rains, it pours.
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Now we're going to see half a distance here. So the ball's going to put on the 5. It's still going to be first down. It's going to be first down in about, instead of 1st and 25, it's in 1st and 30. Is that right?
I'm telling you, it's a little interesting here.
Yeah. Somebody said something on the sideline, and I don't know what that was about. Well,
no, it's the sideline warning crap.
No, they got
it's a sideline warning. We got a warning in the first half, so now it's
that.
Yeah,
okay.
And now we're at the 5-yard line, so it's 1st and 25.
Well, hell, Darren, heck, I tell you, goodness, I'm shaking. I'm cold. So, Darren, the ball, they still got to 20 yards on that. Woodford still has the football.
They pitch back to Maxbury. He has the right side. He'll get out there, and there's a little extra. Well, they just took his head, drove him right in the ground.
I'll tell you, man.
We have not gotten any kind of break this year on those kind of calls.
Well, you're not going to get it. You can't count on them, and that's the kind of thing you just can't count on. You got to play. The linesman
is starting to really carry on a conversation with Dennis Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not even one little. I mean, he is more concerned about what.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's talking to Dennis now or the box guy.
Well,
he keeps turning around saying something.
Got 7. Got a little out of that hole. Got 7. That's good.
Mason, straight carry. Goes to the right side.
Ooh.
He's going to be dropped.
That time looked like Douglas had that one sniffed out.
I think he ran to the line of scrimmage too quickly and then tried to bounce, and you can't do that. Once you commit to go up field, you got to go.
Well, that time,
no gain.
Douglas had that one sniffed out, and were able to really jump on Nason.
Well, they actually lost a yard. 3rd and 19. A minute 54 to play in the third. Glad you're with us here in Lexington. Tied at 7. Nason back to throw. Steps up. Lets it go across the middle of the field.
Intercepted.
Tipped and intercepted. Headed back the other way. And Douglas has the turnover. But I tell you what, I thought there was early contact too, to be honest with you. That's why the ball came off of the shoulder pad of the receiver for Woodford County. That's only Nason's 6th interception of the year with the 20 touchdowns.
Well, now Woodford County defenses get to show what they got, I guess, here, man.
Well, that whole sequence was set up by 2 penalties against Woodford. One, the pass interference, and then the second one on the dead ball, the unsportsmanlike on Woodford on the far side.
Well, that time Dennis Johnson playing the strategy of trying to get the penalty, and it didn't work out for Woodford.
Nope. So the Jackets defense got to blow their neck with 1:38 to play in the third. Still tied at 7. Carpenter. They give it off to Bryant. Nothing. He might have a yard, maybe 2.
Woodford County doing a good job.
Gave him 3. Leighton Starks on the tackle. Well, last week we saw people getting pulled off the field by officials because of their knee pads.
Yeah.
Look at 77. Aren't his knee pads above his knees?
I can't see who you're talking about.
They're here, the right tackle.
Okay.
In motion.
Oh.
Give it off to Bryant again.
Still on
breaks the tackle, gets inside the 5.
Once again, Woodford County reaching for the football.
Tell you what, they just had a Douglas player get himself up off of a Woodford County player. What we did in the first half, and we got a personal foul penalty. Nothing there. It's 1st and goal Broncos now.
Yeah.
From the Woodford County 3, under a minute to play in the third quarter. Still tied at 7. Woodford needs a huge turnover right here if they can get it. They give it off to Bryant. He'll score it in for the touchdown, 13-7.
Boy, that was a heck of a run by Bryant. He did a good job. They had him wrapped up in Woodford County. He just sort of powered through it. But still, with 25 seconds left in the third quarter to be 14-7, Woodford County coming in here without the respect of a football team, and they are still in this football game.
Well, I tell you what, Woodford has played their tails off.
And we're still going into the fourth here, Dan.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man.
I know.
Goodness.
But I'm telling you, here's the thing. I continue to look at this. You can't tell me one team's doing more than the other.
No. The penalties have been really the difference here. And 2 turnovers now. One of them inside the 50-yard line, the other one down inside the 10-yard line for Woodford County. Both teams have interception. Both teams have benefited from some big penalties.
The extra point on its way. And the kick is up. And it's good. Boy, it didn't look like he hit that very well, though, did it?
No, it didn't hit. The ball was kind of rolled back to him. The holder had to pick it up off the turf.
14-7. Douglas now leads over Woodford County with 25 seconds to play in the third. Woodford County victims of and really that was a nice drive by the Broncos, but again, aided by a couple of penalties against Woodford County to get in the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, again, both teams have benefited from some big penalty plays. You know, Woodford County, we've seen Douglas start with some firsts and thirds and 40s and thirds and 20s. And,
right.
Both teams. But it seems like on the field position side that Douglas is benefiting an awful lot for some big penalties inside the 40-yard Woodford County's 40.
I mean, they've driven the ball, done well at the times, and then all of a sudden, you know, that yellow thing comes out. Yeah. And, you know, they've helped them. But then Woodford's defense has done the same thing and stood up and gotten some stuff done. Yeah. But then you wind up, I don't know.
That's the first time, though, that
Frustrating.
I'll tell you, when your defense needs to come up big, they came up big.
Yeah. Belisle and Maxbury deep for Woodford County.
Oh,
This
straight up
one's
in the air.
going to come down, and it's going to hit the 7 and goes into the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10, Woodford County at the 20.
It almost looked like Maxbury didn't know where he was on the field there.
Well,
he thought
yeah,
he was a yard deep in the end zone. He was on the 6.
Yeah. Ranier knocks it into the end zone. And he said, the PA guy said it hit about the 7. Well, I mean, don't you have to be aggressive and catch that thing?
Well, like I said, I just don't think Maxbury knew exactly where he was on the field when the ball came up.
So it's 1st and 10, Woodford County from their own 20-yard line. Trailing now 14-7.
25 seconds left to go in this quarter. Woodford County would love to get a playoff here. And a positive play here.
Alexander to the left. They keep it.
Mason kept it that time.
Yeah. And I tell you what. Brandon Brooks on the tackle.
He came over the top on that really, really well, did Brandon Brooks.
Yeah, and he kind of just.
I think Woodford County's going to flip the field here, and we're going to go into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Woodford County fans will understand this. Kind of souffled him. I mean, I'm surprised Nason got up and walked away without any kind of grogginess because he looked like he came down the back of his neck. 14-7, Douglas leads over Woodford County. As we head to the fourth quarter here in Lexington. Glad you're with us.
Now this time Woodford County is going to be coming toward us from the 20. They didn't pick up anything on that.
So the Jackets really looking to get into this and struggling here. Not really struggling, but I think, field position has had a little bit to do with that.
A little bit. That defensive play has played really well. They've done a really good job.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know the score. How about this, folks? Bryan Station defeats Trinity.
Oh, Bryan Station.
If that's the case, I'm going to check this, make sure it's real.
Everybody's pulling
It
out their
is.
phone.
Bryan Station 10, Trinity 7.
Wow.
That's the final score.
My goodness.
Final score in Northern Kentucky Class 2A, Beechwood over Shelby Valley, 49-12. 5A final already, Owensboro over Fairdale, 36-0. But that score just down the road from here,
Yeah, just around the corner here.
that is kind of a shocker. Bryan Station 10, Trinity 7. That's a final score from Louisville, or from Lexington here. Holy moly, here we go. Ball's loose, and I think Douglas has got it.
That's that exchange. Woodford County having a tough time with that early exchange. They did that earlier and ripped off about an 8-yard run.
Yep. Well, Douglas will get the football now, leading 14-7, just at the start of the fourth quarter, at the Woodford County 21 on the fumble exchange between running back and quarterback. Or was that on the snap? Could you tell?
I couldn't tell, but it looked like it was on the exchange to me. From what I saw on that play, it didn't look like everybody was collapsing on the football.
Yeah. It's 1st and 10, Douglas. From the Woodford County 21, leading 14-7 Broncos. Carpenter rides it with.
Got a flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold behind the play.
Yeah, once again, they're just coming out and tackling Woodford County players out there. Goodness. Yeah, holding.
It'll be 1st and 20 again for Douglas.
I'll tell you what, man, Woodford County, their defense really could use a big turnover right here. I mean, you're looking at 2nd or 1st and 20.
Yep.
This is a prime spot. And this has been Douglas's story all night tonight.
Well, Woodford
big play and then a big penalty.
Woodford County's doing something defensively that's causing these holes because they are not just holes, but they're holes behind the line of scrimmage.
It might just be that Ponce is that quick, as we thought he was. he's getting a hold. And I've definitely been in games where coaches have told guys, you go out there and grab them until somebody throws a flag.
1st and 20. Carpenter gives it off to Hart, running right. And he's dropped after a gain of about 4. It'll be second down and 16. 11:25 to play in the fourth. Douglas leads 14-7.
Well, Douglas would just as soon keep the ball on the ground the whole time, but when they lose yards like that, they may not have a choice but to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, but
if not this play, the next one.
Well, with the 7-point lead, they would like to see that clock run.
Yeah.
Because they have been challenged tonight by the Jackets.
They're
Carpenter back to throw. Steps up, has the post pattern. Is it caught?
No.
Touchdown.
Woodford County's calling for it.
And it's 20-7. I'm not sure he caught that thing.
Well, Woodford County DB said that he dropped it, but we'll see.
And it's 20-7 Douglas now with 10:56 to play in the ball game. Well, Woodford, I thought it looked like to me the ball was on the ground here as he rolled over, but my decision doesn't matter from here. And the extra point coming from Rainier. Boy, they let them take a long time.
He's got his hand up now.
Yeah. The extra point is up and the extra point is good. So with 10:56 to play in the ball game is now Douglas 21 and Woodford County 7. But, the Jackets have taken care of the football all night.
And suddenly they didn't.
And then they, have that turnover.
2 of them.
The interception and then the fumble. But, they've made Douglas earn the points they've gotten. So, we'll see what happens here. I would like to see Woodford a little bit more aggressive in the back end of this thing, catching the football on the kickoff of it, because we saw him on the touchdown that gave Douglas the lead, 14-7 here, hit at the 7-yard line.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see.
You might bust one. You never know.
Woodford County's got an opportunity here, so we'll see what happens.
So we'll see. 10:56 to play. Douglas now leads 21-7. Rainier lifts this one deep. It looks like Woodford's going to let it hit in the end zone. So Woodford County will take over 1st and 10 from the 20.
Woodford County would like to move the ball a little bit. After that 73-yard drive, we know that they can. Woodford County needs some positive plays to start this series.
Woodford moved the ball in their couple of series in the third quarter before the interception. So, but it's not like Woodford has not moved the ball against Douglas tonight. They have done that.
Yeah. That's a tough place. This is the place where the character comes out, Darren.
Yep. Nason back to throw. Throws out in the flat to Nelson. And he's working on Ty Bryant over there on the far side.
Threw right at him.
How much do they give? Looks like they give him 11. Nope.
They're going to give him 9. Nope.
They're only giving him 9.
Box
I thought he got past the sticks.
No, he was out of bounds at that point.
Gain of 9. It'll be second down and 1 for Woodford County from their own 29.
We might see a steady dose of those wide passes like that.
Yeah. Well, and get them up and then throw over them.
Yeah.
But we've had guys running open. That's not been a problem tonight. They give it off to Stacy. He has the first down.
It's kind of a surprise.
And a late flag. Brooks on the tackle for Douglas.
I didn't see.
Came from the umpire.
Yeah, after so we're going to dead ball.
Personal foul. Let's see if it's on Woodford or if it's on Douglas. It's on Douglas.
Wow.
Jackets.
Personal foul, dead ball.
You know,
now it's going to be a first down.
Yeah.
Is that the second first down on the penalty, third first down on the penalty for Woodford.
I think it's the second one. So it's 1st and 10, Woodford County from midfield now.
Well, Woodford County doing a good job moving the ball a little bit at a time and getting some help from a little hot temper.
Well, they got the first down. So they got 15 yards on the play, or not on the play, but on the drive.
Mason keeps it.
And he's dropped by hand. And then we get a flop back in the back end of the defense here. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Nobody near him. He just decided.
That was an interesting play. I can't tell if Nason misread it or if somebody missed an exchange there.
Yeah, I don't know. Lost 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and we haven't seen that tonight.
Yeah.
Either.
Brian Staples here with us, and we've talked about that tonight because they are really flying to the first.
Running a reverse on that.
Thing, and then the reverse is set.
Yeah,
now, they got some speed, but so does Woodford.
Well, we got people moving all over the place.
Well, Douglas was jumping all over the place.
Woodford's moving. That was a false start.
Yeah, well, Douglas was jumping all over the place, trying to get people in spots defensively.
Woodford,
and sometimes when that happens, though, you may have somebody barking out a signal, which causes that. So now it's 2nd down and 16 for Woodford County from their own 43. They say 17, so Jackets need some points. Nason back to throw. Looking down for Nelson. That's pass interference.
Oh, wow.
Holy cow.
All right.
Same thing that happened down here earlier in the first half.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. 3rd down. Woodford County still got lots of opportunities here.
Yeah. Well, I'll just say this: Nelson, unfortunately, is not an all-stater. I mean, I love watching Ty Bryant play because he plays the game the way he should play it, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But he ran and contacted Nelson before, and that gave Aiden no chance of catching the ball.
Yeah.
3rd down, 15 now.
Again, they got somebody uncovered here.
I'd go back to the same play. They throw that tunnel screen and not doing.
Now, Woodford County will not punt
now it's
here.
4th down.
They'll throw here. Woodford County will throw the ball right down the sideline here and try to pick up you might see another one trying to pick up that play.
I tell you, it's just, it's one of those situations where, I am the homer. I admit that. I will go to my grave being a homer as long as I'm doing Woodford County football. But you cannot tell me on that play before that it's not pass interference.
Well,
you cannot convince me it's not.
It may well have been. Referees miss calls all the time. But honestly, Darren, when you look at it on a whole, the only big difference in where the penalties have been called is that it seems to be the difference in penalties. But both teams have been way behind the sticks.
Woodford fakes it. They're not going to get close. I don't know why we fake a punt on 4th and 20. I don't understand. I know you want to put your team in the spot to win, but you can't fake a punt on 4th and 20.
Well,
Douglas will take over 1st and 10 from the Woodford County 42.
Woodford County has an opportunity here to really show something to Douglas, and that's a little pride. And with 8 minutes left, they could also get the ball back pretty quickly. The first series took 1 minute and 30 seconds for Douglas. So
we'll see what happens. Douglas is going to run the ball with Bryant. 2 receivers. They give it off to Bryant. He gets a couple. Grant Garrison on the stop. Oh, wow. Southwestern came back and beat Scott County 23-22.
Well, that's a big score. I haven't heard him announce the Bryan Station.
Oh, they're not going to announce that score. I'll tell you that right now. They're giving all the 5A scores. But in case you joined us late, Bryan Station knocks off Trinity tonight down the road here, just about 3 miles.
Yeah, flag.
10-7.
Jump.
Defenders and Coach Philip Hawkins. Congratulations, Coach Hawkins.
Yeah.
So St. X and Trinity, there is no all Louisville final this in 6A this year. False start on Douglas with 7:26 to play, leading 21-7 over Woodford County. Douglas leads 21-7 here in Lexington.
On an interception and a fumble, both of those scores.
Scored right after both of those turnovers. For those 2 turnovers. Carpenter in the pistol formation. Bryant. Yeah.
You counting with him? Ref Douglas over here, White Hat Staples over here was counting that
right
one
on
off
it.
too.
And
well, goodness.
I didn't hear a whistle blow timeout. Did you?
No.
Till after. Oh my goodness.
It's all right.
Boy.
Imagine we'd be screaming if it didn't. So.
Oh. Well, Woodford County, if they go down to defeat here tonight, they can hold their heads high for 2 reasons. Number one, an outstanding season coming in with another double-digit win total. And number 2, you took the number 1 team in 5A on their home field and gave them all they could handle.
Absolutely. I think that, we play this game 5 times, and it would be a tough call to see who would win at 3.
Well, the difference in this game is 14 points. And to be flat honest with you folks out there, both these touchdowns in the second half aided by Woodford County penalties.
Yeah, aided by Woodford County penalties, but also, you have 2 deep
turnovers. Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, you're going.
But Woodford's defense did a good job of making it tough as Carpenter gives it off to, is that Horton?
No, 13.
That's Bryant. Gain of a couple.
Woodford fans are just into this game tonight, aren't they?
Woodford's had a nice crowd out here tonight. I'm very much
proud of the community right now.
Proud of Woodford County and the community. He got 4. It's 3rd and 11. 6:25 and the clock moving.
I know that Douglas would just as soon not let Woodford score another touchdown, but Woodford County's defense is not going to give them anything easily.
Nope. They've made it tough on them. Carpenter back to throw. Looking down deep. And it's incomplete.
Yeah. Sounds like he dropped it out there. I couldn't see that one, but that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Be 4th and 11 now.
Douglas has got a choice here. Now they don't get hurt by a punt.
And they are going to punt it with Rainier.
He's a good punter.
So 6:03 to play in the ball game. Woodford County trailing 21-7.
You have to think here, Darren, tonight that missing Tristan Cook in the middle there and
has
their normal rotation,
has hurt.
Especially as they tried to put a drive together. They were able to put that one drive, really beautiful drive together. But especially as they've done that, they're used to swapping out.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that a little more pressure has been put on that offensive line. That may be a big reason why they haven't been able to put a run game together here in the second half.
Rainier to punt. And it goes out of bounds. So Woodford County still has a shot with 5:54 to play in this one. They've got to score and get a pretty quick score and get the ball back on maybe an onside kick.
Well, in the way this game's been going, I would expect Woodford County to go to the air here. I would not expect them to go to their run game. And I think that Douglas is probably expecting the same thing. So it's going to be interesting to see basically the wideouts against the DBs and the safeties here and how Nason can do kind of keeping his head in the game. He's done a great job all year this year of maintaining composure throughout a football game, regardless of the situation.
Well, if you think about it, we haven't heard anything from Mekhi Smith tonight offensively. Nason back to throw. Rolls left. And then hits these throws, and it's incomplete.
Now the ball rolled back to the line of scrimmage. He held on to that ball as long as he dared.
Harkless on the pressure. But Woodford County, 2nd and 10 now.
Well, that was interesting. I thought that Nason had a man about a step earlier there, but downfield, Douglas was doing a good job, a better job downfield on downfield coverage, at least on that particular play.
Right.
Run.
They give it off on the reverse. Here comes Nelson. Tries to cut the corner and doesn't. Busen on the tackle.
What are they going to give him here? Gain of about 6.
He was trying to get to the corner, just couldn't get it. Nice tackle by Busen in the open field. So it's 3rd and about 4.
I got the sense that maybe he could outrun him. He probably could have just turned on the gear and got there. Woodford County looking at 4-down territory here if they don't get the first down on this play.
5:17, clock moving. Woodford County not in a hurry, but they don't.
They would like to get a touchdown before the 3-minute mark.
And make this, and make this thing very interesting. Third and 4. Nason throws out here into the flat, incomplete.
And that time Nason stared down his receiver the whole way. He had his shoulders turned the entire way and tracked his man all the way across. There was no look off, nothing. So that really gave Douglas the opportunity to break on the football.
Woodford's going to go for it, it looks like.
I think they absolutely have to. They don't have a choice.
From their own 21-yard line. 4th and 4.
Well, we haven't seen a double pass. I wouldn't be surprised to see that here.
Well, what we haven't seen is that tall sweep that they've.
A couple times tonight. We've seen it twice tonight.
Seen it twice?
Yeah. Screens, yeah, you're right, Coach Staples. That's exactly right. The middle screen is open again. I wouldn't be surprised to see a double pass here.
Also wouldn't be surprised to see Woodford County try to draw them off sides. Pistol formation. Nason back to throw. Steps up again. And he doesn't have the first down, or does he?
Nope. It's going to be close. Really depends on
He got the first
spot.
down. They gave him the first down on the far side.
First down on the run. Nason does do that well.
Yep, 1st and 10, Woodford County from the 25.
Now, if Woodford County would like to get this score in, if they could get this score in at the 2:33 minute, they got a shot.
Nason back to throw. Throws out here, incomplete. Too far out in front of his intended receiver.
Well, he got the
Wyatt
ball out.
Crow.
He did get the ball out quickly that time, but he did overthrow him short on him a little bit. And again, I think that's probably the result of some pressure.
Yep, 2nd and 10 for Woodford County.
You know, fans out there who are watching football, the game doesn't start and end with every new play.
Right.
Every play wears on both teams, and they learn and they learn and they learn. By the time you get to the 4th quarter, quarterbacks have been pressured or they haven't. They feel comfortable or they don't. Running backs know where they're going to get hit or they're not. You know, it's all that stuff just kind of wears on you.
2nd and 10, Nason back to throw.
Pressured again.
Rolls left, has a man available. Incomplete. He had Maxberry, and it looked like Cam Dunn just reached out and grabbed him as he was going by him, but the ball was thrown behind him as well. So it's 3rd and 10. Nason probably should have tucked that and run.
Maybe, but I'll tell you what. 4:17.
Jackets. Rumor has it, Andy, and I'm going to throw this out there. Rumor has it this is the last year for Frederick Douglass in 5A. They're moving up to 6A next year.
That's what I understand. That's what I hear.
Nason back to throw on 3rd and 10.
Ball's on the ground. Flip it over to 4th down. Woodford County will go for it again.
Yep, I think so. 4th and about 15. Looked like the ball slipped out of Nason's hand. So it's a 19. 4th and 16 with 3:53 to play in the ball game. Woodford County trails 21-7 to Douglas. Douglas has outscored the Jackets in the second half 14-7, or 14-0, excuse me, but really it doesn't feel like Douglas has earned those touchdowns. I mean, Woodford made them work hard, but again, aided by some penalties, and one of them was a very questionable pass interference call on Woodford. Followed by a Woodford County unsportsmanlike conduct. They throw down to Mekhi Smith. He goes up and catches it.
Yeah, he'll catch that.
We finally heard from Mekhi Smith.
Wow.
Gave him about 26 on the play, and it's 1st and 10 Woodford County with 3:15 to play in the ball game, trailing 21-7.
In that time, I think that the cornerbacks got a little lazy, expecting the pressure, and Nason was able to set his feet and throw the ball. And surprise,
Nason throwing deep to the far side. That's, oh boy, Aiden Nelson went up with one. Oh my goodness! They said it was incomplete.
Yeah, it was. He went up and pulled the ball down.
With one
he
hand
really
and pulled
wanted
it down.
pass interference on that.
And again, a lot of contact underneath before the ball got there.
Well, he did a great job of getting the ball and making it catchable.
Yeah. 2nd down and 10 for Woodford. Jackets still fighting with 2:58 to play.
Yeah, this is the point where they really need to score in the next 30 seconds here, Darren, to have a shot at getting an outside kick with enough time.
They give it off on the sweep to Maxberry. Cuts it up. First down.
First down. They're going to run back.
First time we've seen
run and reset.
A jet sweep from Woodford County there.
That is the first time. And that's, Maxberry really feels those holes very, very well. Sometimes.
Got a guy going down for.
What's that?
For.
Yeah.
Douglas.
Well, that stops the clock and gives Woodford County a chance.
And the Jackets moving the football here with 2:50 to play. Andy, how about this scenario? You drive the ball down, you score, make it 21-14. Get the ball back if you can on an onside kick.
Or a pooch.
Come down and score again.
Tie it up.
Now, do you tie it and kick the extra point, or do you take your chance and go for 2 and win this thing at the end?
I'm not going to even pretend until they score this first touchdown.
I agree, but how about that scenario, though? I like to think ahead. I like to think ahead.
You go play LSU football at that point or not? Go for the deuce? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Play Hal Mummy football because he always wanted to go for 2. Well, there's one game this year that the Jackets decided they wanted to go for 2 every time because they didn't. They were having so much issue with the extra points.
Yeah, they've got it. They've definitely got an arsenal there for sure.
Jackets.
Timeout.
Are we missing the quarterback?
No, he's over on the sideline getting the play. He's not. Woodford County's they run the play in almost every time.
I don't know what happened there. Woodford called timeout. They were either confused about the play or they didn't like what they saw, something. 21-7, Woodford County trailing. I want to thank all our fine sponsors along the network. I've already had somebody ask me about basketball. I haven't had time to settle down and look at it as far as our schedule is concerned. I'm hoping to be playing well into the first weekend of December in football. No offense to the basketball, but
you've got some great people helping you out with this broadcast. I know that 84 Lumber is one of those last lumber yards down there, aren't they? They're one of the last lumber yards out there in terms of like straight up lumber yards. You got Home Depot.
Well, I think you got Kentuckiana Lumber.
Yeah, okay.
But that's down in Louisville. 84 Lumber, created by their founder in 84, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
That's where he got the name 84 Lumber.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Up in northeastern Pennsylvania.
I haven't been down to J&B for breakfast yet.
You need to go.
Think about heading down there.
You need to go. Go get you a biscuit and gravy.
Morning.
Nason back to throw. Throwing down here to the near side to Mekhi Smith. And again, a lot of contact.
Wow.
My goodness.
Well,
I mean, that I don't know. I don't know.
I'll tell you, the only thing I can say is that
What are you looking at? That's what I say.
Man in the stripes is watching, sees the man come across and totally takes his eye off of the cornerback. But that's all I can come up with.
I'm just sitting here going, I mean, what are you looking at? You got one job. You're looking at contact with the defender and the receiver. 2nd down and 10, Woodford County from the Douglas 38. Alexander and Maxbury switch positions. Stacy. They look.
He's got a man.
And they pick it. And that was Alexander turned the wrong way, but I think the throw was thrown behind him a little bit too.
Way short.
21-7, and Woodford County will.
Yeah, he had 2 receivers down there wide open, and I think that little short pass looked like it wobbled a little bit.
21-7, Douglas over Woodford County right now, and 2:12 to remain in the ball game. Let's see what Douglas tries to do here. Carpenter in the pistol with Horton behind him. They give it off to Horton. It's about 5. Starks kind of woofing too, and Bug grabs him, pushes him away, and Horton is down.
Hurt. He's hurt.
Didn't see who Starks was squared off with, but that just shows you that the fire this Woodford County team has had tonight here. Jackets
good to see you, sir.
Played well tonight here, Andy's Dagan Bush in town from Tiffin, Ohio there. That's quite a trip down, isn't it, from Tiffin?
Hey, man, you come down and see your people play,
And he's been following us online all year long, too. Followed us all year last year online. He always sent me some messages through the things. And
he's a good young man right there.
From what I gather, had a pretty good year at Tiffin.
Oh, good.
As a starting right guard on there.
You never know how the high school game is going to translate to any college.
Right.
And he's just such an amazing athlete, overcome so much. Good young man.
Carpenter. Well,
You know what we got?
False start, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And here's the thing. I mean, that's the thing that drives me insane. Is, back when we were all growing up playing this game of football, when you got set as a lineman, especially, you were set. You couldn't move, but they stand up, they walk around on the check me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mr. Staples.
Yeah. He's got comedy night going here. They said they're doing everything but texting. 2nd down and 15 or 2nd down and 9 for Douglas.
26.
This is Hart. He gets close to the 1st down. He may have it. Might be a yard shy, it looks like.
We need 1 here as the clock continues to roll.
Minute 35 to play in the ball game. Douglas will go to perfect 13-0 on the season. But I tell you what, whoever Douglas gets in the next round, Woodford County's give them a pretty good blueprint offensively to go against them defensively.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. The defense has played really good football tonight because, with 2 turnovers resulting in 2 touchdowns at 7-7, that's a really big compliment on the defense here.
Yep, Douglas taking all kinds of time.
Or they may call timeout here. They only need to run 2 plays. Yeah.
Nope, delay a game. They took a delay of game where they call timeout.
Yeah, they can't take.
They call timeout.
They don't want to take that because it'll be 4th down.
52.4 seconds to play. Douglas, as I mentioned, will move to 13-0. Woodford County will finish their season.
I'll tell you what,
At
man.
10-2.
And I say this every game. I say this in the playoffs.
11-2, sorry.
Every time in the playoffs, you try to mention that these seniors, for a lot of these seniors, this is the last time
playing football.
Put on the helmet. Last time they're going to pull up those funny-looking pants, put on those pads, and that's it. So,
Woodford County going to come up short.
They did everything they could to win that game. They did a hell of a job.
yeah, defense.
So
Defense was a blueprint.
Yeah, they did. That was Trenton Fields.
Former quarterback Trenton Fields and
his
coach,
dad,
head coach.
Yeah, and his dad.
And his father there. They did everything they needed to do to win the game. And
Woodford just when you come into a place like this, I mean, and folks, I'm telling you, I can honestly say as a former alum, this Jacket team needs to keep their heads up, and they give it off to Hart.
Yeah, he just is going to stop there.
And he's going to get stopped shy of the 1st down. Woodford County does have 1 timeout left. I don't know if Dennis is going to use it or not.
You go to 4th down. They're going to take it down to the about
Bare
20,
minimum, yeah.
10, something like that, 10 seconds.
But I tell you what, when they come back to Versailles, if you're at home and you know a young man on this ball club, you better say something to them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they have represented the community. They have represented your school.
They've come down here
100%, and their season's going to come to an end here against the number 1 team in 5A. But I tell you what, it looks like Douglas kind of dominated this game. They did not.
No, on the scoreboard it looks like they did, but they did not. No, defensively, Woodford County played lights out. People giving Pete Ponce over there a little pat on the back and tell him a heck of a game, and they should, because he played one heck of a defensive ball game. And with that,
Woodford County loses 21-7 here tonight, and the Jackets just couldn't overcome some things.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I want to invite Mr. Staples over here, see if he has any final thoughts for you, man.
I'm sure he does, but you're going to go get warm.
I might. I'm going to go get in the car and turn the heater on here in a minute. But I'll tell you what, Woodford County tonight did a great job. Defensively, again, when you look at that scoreboard, you see 21-7. What you're looking at is 2 turnovers, 2 touchdowns. Defense did their job tonight. They did their job tonight.
And I will say this also, though, and I've got to point this out. I'd be remiss not in doing it. The 2 turnovers, but in both those drives ensuing for Douglas, Woodford did everything defensively right to get the ball back for their offense, and penalties reared their head to keep drives alive for Douglas on both those drives.
Well, it's hitting some of the players for Woodford County that their season's over with, and that some of their careers are over with.
Now, one of the guys, got a good view of him right here, Grant Garrison. Down on both knees. And I tell you what, though, I'll guarantee you that young man will come over. He'll see me over here, and he'll come over here, and he'll immediately shake my hand. He always does that. That's not an act. But Woodford County falls tonight down here 21-7 to Douglas, and they have nothing to be ashamed of, though.
Not at all.
Nothing. Andy, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll talk to you maybe during basketball sometime.
Well,
all right.
It's possible.
Okay.
My volume went down. That's what happened. So it's possible. I've been doing some Midway games over there, PA games for Midway basketball here. So
for
we'll
the
see.
women?
I'm doing both now.
Both.
But we'll see if I keep doing it or not. I don't know.
Okay.
But, we might talk on some basketball games. It'd be great.
Okay. There you go. Thanks. Right. Andy Smith with us, and also we've had Brian Staples join us for a couple of games this year on color. It's been wonderful. It's been fun, and Woodford County loses to Frederick Douglas tonight, 21-7 here in Versailles, in Lexington. They got nothing to be ashamed of. They absolutely took the number 1 team down to the wire. They played extremely hard, just unable to get over a hump. But the Jackets got nothing to be ashamed of. They finished the year at 11-2. So Randy Smith on color, Brian Staples also joining us on color at times, and all our fine sponsors on the UK Sports Medicine Game of the Week. It has been a wonderful football season. We'll take a few days off and get into the college or into the basketball season. But Woodford County falls here in the region championship game in Lexington to Frederick Douglass by a final score of 21-7. So for all those fine folks, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you come basketball season on the Yellow Jacket Sports Network.